Hi folks, so the question we have in front of us here today, guys, is from the 2011 DCG Leaving Cert paper, ordinary level, section C on road geometry or geologic geometry, however you want to call it. It says the accompanying map shows ground contours at 5 meter vertical intervals, and the scale is 1:1000. Okay, so that's helpful in the sense that 1 millimeter on our sheet is equal to 1000 millimeters in reality. So often I just write that in. Little bit of space you have wherever it is on a sheet on the day. So 1 millimeter on our sheet, so I usually put OS in a bracket, is to 1000 millimeters in reality, and the distance between our contours is 5 meters. So we need to work up whatever 1000 millimeters we know is 1 meter, we need to work that up to 5 meters, so it means we have to multiply it by 5, so times 5. So that means 5 millimeters on our sheet, okay, is equal to 5000 millimeters in reality. And that's kind of what you're getting at there, okay? So kind of 5 is your little number that we're going to use. So part A, it says on the drawing supplied, draw a vertical section profile along the line AB. So looking along the line AB, here we have a profile and we have the various contour marks down here, so we can see 40, 35, 30, 25, 25. This one is the 25, the next one is 30, and so on, okay, and it's going over as far as 50 as well. So our lowest is 25, highest is 60, okay, and it stops at the 50, starts at 40. Okay, so starting off with that profile, what we're going to do is from the A or from the B, just so I know the area I have to draw my profile within, I'm going to do a line up like that. And along that vertical line there, I'm going to measure up in 5 millimeter increments, okay, using the 5 millimeter, so just starting here on every 5, so on. And the lowest, as I said, was 25, so I'm going to treat this one right here on the line, put in dark, right here on the line, that's going to be 20. I've got 20 here if I want to write it in there. So 5 millimeter increments, make the marks there. So that'll be 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and finally 60. Just so I know how high I have to go up as far as. Now what I'm essentially drawing here is an elevation view of these contour lines. So going left to right for each one. And having done that, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in my contour line heights. So 25, then I have 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. Okay, over here I'll just do every second one, 30, 40, 50, up to 60. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is plot those points where the profile, which is by the line here, like AB, it's like it's sliced through the sheet or sliced through whatever mountain or topography that we have, and what we're going to do is get the profile of where it slices through. So at point A, I can see it's on the 40 contour, so I have to project up as far as the 40 height. So if you look at the 40 height, it's up to this one. Likewise with the next one, it's going downwards. This case is going down to 35. Once again goes down as far as 30. This one is down to 25. And this one also happens to be on the 25. Now from here, if I just follow it down, I can see it's 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it's going all the way up to 60 before it comes back down. Okay, and there's two 60s. So in that case then, it's just a case of 1/1 each time. So that one there is 30. Just to make sure I don't make a mistake, 35, 40, 45. So at that point there I'm at the 45, but I can just check it. Yes, I know I'm right then, so I'm happy with that. This one is going to go up to the 50. Then we have the 55. Then I have 2 at the 60. One here one here, and I'd imagine after the 60 then it goes 55, 50, and I know my B is on the 55, which is actually the last one, which is right there. Okay, so at that point now I usually like to just identify those points for when I'm going to sketch in my profile. Okay, just so I can see after each point where I'm going to, what's my next destination essentially. Okay, join the dots, and as you can see there, all those little dots, I'm essentially going to have to sketch those in. Okay, so I'll just speed up the video for that bit there. Okay, there you have it. That is the vertical section profile. Now, just on the day of an exam, a little bit of advice: try and do it in one continuous path. Okay, as you can see in the video there, I kind of sketched over my guide first of all, but then I kind of went over it as best I could in one continuous path. But as you can see, the odd place I've made mistakes here where I kind of obviously lost kind of my track and just kind of had to join up those two bits there. You can see anywhere where I've kind of heavied it in a little bit. Okay, but it just makes it look neater and tidier. Alright, so that's the part A. On the drawing, supply, draw a vertical section profile along the line AB. Now it says here, part B, the valley to the right of point A. Okay, so the valley to the right of point A, so if you look, point A is technically here, and technically point B is up here, so I'll write that in, okay, at this point. The valley to the right of point A, so we can see the valley, okay, where it drops down, floods during heavy rain. Draw a line on the profile to indicate the surface of the water when it is 8 meters deep, or depth. So from the lowest point on the valley, now in here I've actually dipped it, even though these 2 points are 25, I've dipped it a little bit below because the direction of or the topography was going down before it goes up. Obviously it's going to dip a little bit below before it goes back up, so it's probably at about 24 or 23 meters depth there. So I'd estimate maybe 1 or 2 mil below that. So wherever your lowest point on the valley is, what we're going to do is simply just measure up a distance of, it says it is, sorry, just check here, 8 meters. So on that, I'm just going to do a straight line up from the lowest point of the valley, which is about there. And I'll actually put this in green. Lowest point. I'm going to do a line like this, and on that line I'm going to measure up 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Up there. I'll do this line in blue, because obviously it's water. So there we have it. That there would be your flood. Okay, just shade that in a little bit. So there we have it. That is identifying where obviously the valley floods to during heavy rain. So that's part B done. Just bringing in a bit of a real world scenario there. And now part C, it says CD is the centre line of a proposed roadway which is level at an altitude of 25 meters. Okay, so that roadway is level at an altitude of 25 meters. So I always write in, as best I can, level at 25 meters. So the roadway from C to D is level the whole way from C to D at 25 meters height. And if we look at the land around it, we can see that the land around it is actually higher. Okay, at this point here it joins right at the exact same height, but every other contour line is actually higher than the road. So I assume in this case we're actually going to have to do cuts. So it says here, using side slopes of 1 in 1 for our cuts, so our cut ratio is 1 in 1. Our cut ratio, okay, is 1 in 1. And essentially what that means is, if I'm just going to, as best I can, if you imagine this is our road, okay, and at the height of the road there it's 25 meters high. And essentially the land is too big around it, okay? So obviously that land, a car that's driving along there, okay, there's a little car here or whatever, and car is driving along there, okay, doesn't want to be hit by any rocks obviously coming down from a height. So what we're actually going to have to do is we're going to cut away from the side of the road. So essentially we're using 1 in 1 for our cuts. So essentially what that means is for every distance, for every 1 meter I travel up, I'm also going to travel out a distance of 1 meter from the side of the road. Okay, and essentially the distance that will keep happening, but the bit of land here, that's the bit that's been cut away, and what we're left with is a more gradual decline towards the road, okay, which is a lot safer. Now that's 1 in 1, okay, but we know the distance, our magic number was 5, so I multiply that by the cut ratio. Okay, so what that means is every 1 meter I travel up, okay, is to 1 meter I travel out from the side of the road. Multiply that by 5, so for every 5 meters I travel up, that means I'm also going to travel out 5 meters from the side of the road as well. Okay, so that means just from the side I'm coming out 5. Now, quite easy, you could have just figured out, we knew 5 was our magic number, but if they give us a different cut ratio where it was maybe 1 is to 1.5, then you'd obviously multiply, that's where it's important, 5 times 1.5, it would be different to measure now, it would be 7.5, but in this case it's 5. So from the side of the road, I know once again my highest mark is up to the 60, my road is at a level height of 25, so I'm going to put that here, 25 there, I'm also going to put it here. And I'm going to measure out in increments of 5 millimeters from the side of the road. Okay, so 5 millimeters, so that'll be 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and finally 60. Okay, put those in. 30. Okay. Now, if I wanted to be neat and tidy, and I'll try and be as neat and tidy as possible this time, for my 25 contour, I know it meets the road right here. Okay, and is there any other 25? I don't think there is. But for my 30, I can see that there's one here. I'm just trying to see, is there anyone else? Yeah, there's one here and one here. Okay, so for my 30, I'm going to try and keep it. It's this one and this one. Should have put that in red, sorry. Okay, and I've also got a 30 all the way over here, okay, which is there, it's the second one in, which is that one there. Now if you wanted, you could do it that way where you're just trying to keep it neat and tidy. Okay, so there's the 30, got another 30 contour here and another 30, and we'll work our way up. Now this time I'm going to have the 35, okay, so in this case it's here and on this side it's both, so it's simply a case of 35, 35, so the next one in, I think it's this one. Okay, yep. And what it does, instead of actually putting your contour lines the whole way across the page, okay, it helps to keep it neater and tidier. I do find myself personally though, and I'm just going to start it now, that was just to show you for demonstration purposes, but I do find personally the quicker way is to just put them in, provided you're very neat and tidy, obviously using a 2H pencil for your construction lines, putting them all in neat and tidy. I am using biros for the sake of the video here. Providing you're tidy, it won't make a difference to any of your marking, okay, but you'll see, having put in my contour lines parallel with the side of the road here, as I'm cutting away from the road, it's a lot easier for me now just to identify the points. Okay, so starting like, let's say here, 45, I can see it goes to 45 there, next one is at 40, so I know it's just the next one down, 35, 30, 30, 35, now we're going up to 40, next one I assume is up to the 45, next one I assume is up to the 50, then I've got the 55, 60, 60, then we're going back down, 55, 50, 45, 40. Okay, and as you can see, I think that's a lot quicker doing it that way. Okay, okay, so at this point now you can actually see the artworks necessary to complete this, so I'm quickly going to speed up the video there again while I'm sketching this. Okay, there we have it guys, that is the part C of the question done, where we had using the cut section, okay, complete the artworks necessary, and obviously it said note the artworks on the southern side were already completed. Now, in relation to cuts, just to identify that it's a cut and not a fill, what we're going to do is put in our little tadpoles, and in this case for a cut, like we've done in previous questions, the ball is going to roll towards the road. Okay, So if you do it on the north side of the road, what's it doing on the south side? And it's going to roll towards the road. Okay, and that's just identifying that it's a cut section. Okay, that there, guys, is 2011 ordinary level question on road geometry. Hope you found that helpful.